Welcome back to another AI study session. It's been a little bit since the first one that I did, so I'll kind of reintroduce the way that these things are going to work. Basically, I am reinvigorating my effort to become better at math and specifically focus my efforts on getting good at AI and machine learning. I decided that I am not, in fact, too cool to do AI and machine learning research, so I'm going to actually put some real effort behind trying to grasp a lot of the difficult technical and mathematical concepts behind it by basically doing intense study sessions and logging my progress online, both on Twitter, on my discourse forum at discourse.crackedeng.com, as well as lots of other places. I'll just kind of be talking about it in general, and these videos are going to kind of be wrap-ups of what I learned over the last couple of sessions, basically. I'm not going to do a video every day, every session, anything like that. It's going to be kind of more laid back than that. I'm just going to be doing it anytime I feel like I've learned something that is worth kind of sharing. So this session, 16th September 24, this is kind of a wrap up of my watch through of Karpathy's micrograd video. I'll pull that up here in this tab real quick. I'm not going to play it, obviously, but I will leave a link to this video down in the description. I am not going to be able to properly explain just how good this video is in taking you from zero to something on neural networks. Karpathy explains these topics incredibly coherently and is able to kind of talk to somebody who is a math moron like me and explain the mathematical topics, not in a way that's like memorize these specific algorithms and approaches and apply them in X, Y, and Z ways, but in much more intuitive, like more computer science friendly ways, which I really appreciated. I mean, it was unbelievably helpful just right off the rip. So a lot of the stuff that I wrote in this thread on the discourse forum is based around kind of that video. I already mentioned he's a brilliant teacher. Neural networks, surprisingly, fairly simple. At least the back propagation approach that he goes through in these videos. Obviously, ChatGPT and Llama and all of that are way more complex than this. I'm not under any kind of assumption that this is just how all neural networks work, but the way he kind of walked through it and explained things made me go from zero to like, okay, I know kind of these topics. And it made me realize that a lot of the reason why I and a lot of other people probably are scared of, getting into the mathematical side and getting into like actually developing neural networks is it's hidden behind a lot of jargon. Like it's simple concepts hidden behind a bunch of vocab. And that vocab really doesn't need to be as complex as it is. It kind of does though, and I kind of mentioned this here in the article. We do have to communicate, and the reason why there's a ton of jargon is because you have to take a lot of really heavy concepts, like within a lot of these research papers and within a lot of the conversations that AI researchers have, and you have to explain things in a way that doesn't take like 4 hours. So like you can't spend 500 pages on each, white paper you release, just kind of explaining things without jargon. So the jargon's necessary. It can just also be really scary to folks who are not mathematically inclined, like I am not. I also immediately started to understand why they're using Python and why machine learning folks in general use Python. Yes, there are issues. I do not like Python, and I will continue to not like Python, and that's okay. But I began to understand why they use it. The very minimal amount of kind of like setup functions and gotchas and things like that you would run into with, say, like Rust or C, C++, you don't have that in Python because of how simple the language is. The syntax makes things very easy to understand. The code itself is very readable. So again, I get why AI ML folks, are gravitating towards Python, not to mention the fact that most data science stuff is already built in Python. So why reinvent the wheel? Unless you're me, and I kind of am getting the feeling that I want to rewrite all of this stuff in Rust, but that's the way I am. The frustrations that I have are not about the content. It's about the amount of time that I have to spend on it, which kind of sucks. It's a time management problem. I work a 9-to-5 job. I'm building a forum community. I'm building a YouTube channel. I'm doing lots of different stuff on top of having 2 kids and a wife that I like to spend time with occasionally. So I don't just have an abundance of time to sit down and really do these deep study sessions. And my approach thus far has actually kind of been pretty good. I've learned that what I need to learn things is to expose myself to the information at a high level. Like basically while I'm like folding laundry or on a run or something like that, I'll listen to, either Karpathy's videos, or I'll listen to an audiobook, or I'll listen to, some lecture. And that exposes me to the information. So later when I sit down and really have a deep, intense study session, it's not like I'm learning it for the first time. I'm kind of being reintroduced to the stuff, and I can fill in my gaps in learning. That's been my approach, and that's helped a lot with the time management stuff, but it's still like I need to devote a fair bit of time to kind of get where I need to be in the timeline that I want to get there. So that's a little frustrating. The next steps, figuring out that time management problem, I think is just going to be, I need to like create a tempo and a plan and an approach where I say, okay, this block of time every night, I'm going to spend an hour, reading this or learning this or deving this out. And that's going to be my AIML time. And any other time that I have where I can kind of fit in listening to a lecture or listening to, Karpathy speak for hours on end, that's going to be how I do it. I'm going to finish the Karpathy video with notes. I've already finished it one time through, and I finished it another halfway through, writing some fairly involved notes. So I'm going to finish that up. And then I'm going to start building some neural net stuff in Rust, which I think is going to be really cool. That's about it for this one. Fairly short and simple, fairly sweet. If you've got any recommendations on how to kind of learn math as a math moron, very much welcome to leave those in the comments. That's about it. Take it easy. Peace.